What is going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. Today you'll notice that we are indoors in my little workroom. I got a little corner designated. I got a bunch of tools stored in here, and I've got something awesome that I've been looking for quite a while. Came across a really awesome deal on one of the classifieds pages, so I had to jump at it. So I figured I'm going to share with you guys the next major project that we're going to be working on. Now, if you've been with the channel for a while, you probably know that I've made the comment in a few different videos that we can't really go further than 20 to 22 psi consistently because I have leaky intake valves. And if you guys saw way back, we did a cylinder head removal and head gasket swap. We did the water pump and all that. In that video, I didn't show it, but I actually recorded a part where I tested the valves. I filled them up with parts cleaner, brake parts cleaner, and checked to see if they leaked. And I had two of them that leaked, but I did not have the time or the means to repair it. And instead of doing that repair, I opted for picking up another cylinder head. So today, I wanted to walk you guys through the plan for the next couple of episodes and show you guys exactly what I plan on doing with this thing and show you some of the stuff that came along with the cylinder head. So let me get some gloves on and I'll give you guys a quick rundown. Alright, so hopefully this lighting is good enough for you guys. First off, we have two OEM camshafts here, and they're still wrapped up. They're actually in really good condition still. We have our roller rockers, which I haven't really gone too crazy with and inspected yet, but from what I can see through this bag, I'm going to pull them all apart and take a look at them a lot closer. I'm going to look for some scoring, some pitting, some wear, but from what I saw for the few that I pulled out, they look to be in really decent shape. And I believe this whole setup that I was told came off of a running engine that they pulled down and picked up the cylinder head for parts. We also have a set of 1G, I don't know if you can tell in here, we have some 1G HLAs with the very small pinholes, and they have the bottle cap crimp style tops on them, so these are obviously going to be something we replace. And we have a set of intake and exhaust cam gears. There's both of them in here. All this stuff's still wrapped up. I put it all into these bags to try to keep it all, separate. They were kind of falling all over the place, unfortunately. So we're going to go through all these, clean them all up, make them work again. But first, there's a lot of stuff we have to do to this cylinder head. Okay, so here is our cylinder head. And as you can probably tell right off the bat, we do have some goodies in here. This cylinder head came with some upgraded parts in it. It's got a newer set. These are all used parts, mind you. Newer set of valves. Intake and exhaust have all been replaced. We also have some MA Performance titanium beehive valve springs and retainers, seats, and keepers. So all of these have also been replaced. So we have a better set of springs, a better set of retainers, and a better set of seats. Also keepers with replaced OEM valves. So I had this guy take a look at things. He said that the cylinder head was in great shape. We're going to find out how great a shape as we go through it. But nonetheless, I checked a couple things right off the gate when it came, and it's in way better shape than the cylinder head that's currently on the car. So first things first, we have to go through, obviously, and start removing some things. So if you guys recall, we have all these bins from the cylinder head job. I have them all labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, intake and exhaust. So we are going to properly orient the head, and we are going to, obviously we got to spin it around the other way. We're going to start removing some of these parts, and what I want to do first is get all of these cam caps pulled off. I'm going to take a look at all of these. They're super easy to remove. I think that they were 12 mils. I'll have to get back to you guys on that. And we also have our tool that we used before to remove all of this, all the valve train in the last setup here when we did the head gasket. This is a Euro export part, and they accidentally sent me the wrong tool when I ordered it for a DSM. They sent me a Honda B18 B20 LS kit, but by changing a couple of bolts around, the kit still worked. So, and what I want to start doing is cleaning this head and deburring it and getting rid of all this extra casting material that's sitting in here. Like if you look along these edges, you can see there's a bunch of little jagged pieces and little chunks here and there that look like, I mean, if you take a look down in there, you can see it's pretty dirty in here. This has been sitting around for like 10 years, I guess, as a spare. It never got used, but it was wrapped up, I guess. We're going to clean it all out. I'm not going to make any excuses for it. We got to get all this grease out. We've got to get it all cleaned off, so I figure first thing, instead of taking it over to the machine shop and having them go through and hot tank this thing and get it all polished off and pretty, we would remove all of these parts, do a basic clean down, and take and grab some die grinders and some rotary bits and start cleaning off all these casting flaws. There's a ton of them. There's little lips everywhere. Like down here, this lip is really jagged. I don't know if you guys should be able to see. Yeah, you can see it's all jagged. There's some little chunks in the corners. Each one of these valleys, it looks like it could get pulled out and removed. Some of it, I noticed in my car when I did the head gasket, some of it needed to be pulled out and just broken off with some pliers. So I grabbed it with some angled needle nose and just snapped some of it off. There's quite a bit of it. Mitsubishi was pretty sloppy when they made these, but we're not going to be reusing the HLAs. We're not going to be... what else aren't we going to be using? There's a couple other things we're going to be taking out, but regardless, first things first, let's get these cam caps off. We'll spin it around, take these off, get them pulled out of the way, and then we're going to start removing all of these valve springs and keepers. So I'm going to stick you guys off to the side. I'm going to work through this, and I will show you what it looks like once we have it all pulled apart. Alright, so we've got all of the valves pulled out, and I have these all organized. Oh, let me grab one. I've got two boxes labeled, and these are our springs and retainers and seats, keepers, and the valve itself. And these are intake in the back row, exhaust on the front, and they're all labeled L for left, obviously. The arrows pointing towards the timing side. which there's a continuation of that over here. All these valves look really good. I don't know if I can get you a shot of, there you go. You can actually see the seat doesn't look terrible at all. See if I can get a little closer for you. You can see the seat looks to be nice and freshly ground still. Looks like these were nice and closed. They didn't really get too gunked up, too messed up. And that's on an intake. Let me show you an exhaust valve. The exhaust valve has a little bit of a larger face on it for the seat. I'll stick these things off to the side real quick. And what I used to pull all this stuff apart was that tool I showed you earlier. And because there was nothing underneath pushing up against the valve to hold it in place, I used a set of these. It was rubber soft jaws. It was like they're like clamps, wood clamps, something you hold when you're building something with wood. Anyways, this clamp right here has a nice soft rubber foot on it, and I put that against the center of the valve on the bottom, on the face of the valve, and just hooked it to the edge lip of the casting on the top where the valve cover seals. And this is, you know, plastic with rubber caps on them, so I lost the cap on it, but it didn't hurt the cylinder head at all. So all I did was put some pressure on it like that and just pop the spring up and pull the keeper out and take the clamp off and continue to remove the valve. So now that all these are out, we can get a better look in here, and we can actually see all of the casting flaws, all of the grime and the crap that's inside of these. The seals don't look like they're in very bad shape. All of the bearing surfaces for the cams look nice. Everything's just dirty. It looks like it's been sitting for a while. I also pulled out the seats for the valves, and most of them look really nice. They're still dirty, obviously, but let's flip this thing over to the other side and take a look at it real quick. Alright, so here is the bottom of the new head. It does have a couple of scratches here and there, but that's not a big deal. We're going to actually send this out and get this all touched up, sanded down nice and smooth. It looks like somebody has crudely performed the oil port mod here. It's not very smooth. It looks like it needs a little bit of reshaping. But other than that, it's got plenty of meat left on it. You can see there's the marks here are recessed still, the dots. If you're ever looking for a cylinder head, I guess the way to tell if it's been decked or resurfaced is the depth of these pins here. So let me see if I can show you. It's still recessed pretty deep in there. I guess once this outer ring is flush with that center dot, it's basically at the top of its service limit, so there's really not much you can do. It's got a couple of little marks here and there, but nothing too crazy. I checked it all out beforehand. It's just got a lot of gasket material left on it. There's some very small minor scratches on this head, but we're going to take care of all that. We're going to go through and clean up all the casting mess, all of the leftover junk that's inside of some of these holes. Like you can see all the burrs on the inside of that where the head stud goes through. We're going to fix up all of this stuff. We're going to clean this stuff off. We're going to clean out these jackets here. The coolant jackets all have stuff stuck in them that need to be cleaned out. So I'm just going to carefully go through with a diamond tip Dremel bit and start cleaning some of this stuff up and fixing some of it. And the big thing is in the top of this head, we want to make sure that the oil can return nice and smooth and doesn't get caught up on any of those pieces and us end up having, you know, a bunch of oil stuck in the cylinder head. Also, let's take a look inside of these valves while we're at it. Shine the light in here. You can see it hasn't really been touched at all. All of this stuff is pretty well stock. So the guides were in great shape. The valves fit nice and tight inside of them. I didn't feel any play or any wiggling, so I don't think the guides are going to need to get replaced in this head. We're just going to go through and make sure that all of these valve seats are real nice. I don't know what the machine shop's going to say, but we're going to have them take a look at it once we're done cleaning it all out. So here, let's take a look inside of the intake side. Everything looks pretty good. It doesn't look like anything's hit it or any engine explosions had happened, or I don't think anybody blew this thing up. It just looks like it's been sitting for a long time and is in need of a good clean. I'm not 100% sure. I might come through here and do a little gasket matching, just open up some of these ports with my carbide burr and some sanding rolls. Like I'm sure you guys have probably seen Jaffro's videos. He is essentially the DSM guru that everybody follows, and I've watched a ton of his videos, and I feel pretty confident getting this one knocked out. So this looks like a pretty nice head compared to what I've got. The main thing that's wrong with mine is the exhaust, or the intake valves leak, like I said earlier. So if you guys have actually responded to a couple of the posts that we had some polls on YouTube. A lot of you guys gave me some really good ideas on some of the parts to pick up for this thing. So aside from the springs and retainers that we lucked out with, we are probably going to pick up a set of camshafts and obviously go through and put a new head gasket on the car when we do this. But there's some other goodies we're going to pick up too. So we're going to be going through this whole thing. So today was step one. Just figured I'd show you guys what is coming in the next couple of videos. We're going to get this thing all figured out, get it all set up, get it all put back together in tip-top shape. It's going to be 100% better than the one that's on the car right now, and I've been looking for quite a while, so I'm actually really thrilled that I finally have a spare head that I can take some time with, rebuild it outside of the car, and then when it comes time to swap it, it only takes a day or two to pull the head off of a car, put a new gasket on, and get it all put back together again. So that'll be another fun project. But in the meantime, it looks like I have some more parts to order. We have some extra surprise goodies that we're going to be throwing in this thing. They already are sitting over here on one of these shelves. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Stay tuned for the next one. And we're going to continue getting this head back to its former glory and hopefully improving some compression in the GSX and making a little bit more power with a little bit more airflow. I know airflow is a big key to make a power of these DSMs, so opening up some of these intake ports and all that fun stuff, it's going to be a real good time. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.